All right, hello and welcome. This is our Vitegrity Movement Basics class. My name is Shauna. I'm going to be guiding you through this session. We just spoke about if you do have a broomstick, PVC, even one of those like long stretchy bands, we're going to use that for part of our warm-up. If you don't, no worries, just move as if you do. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and come on up to standing. Have a chair nearby or the wall nearby. We're going to do some balance work today as well. But first, we're going to start with our standing cat-cow. I'm going to point not to step on my dog here. Draw your stomach in so you're not in any kind of sway back posture. So rock your hips back just underneath the shoulders. Now send your hips back. Bring your hands to the bottom of the thighs. From here, for our standing cat-cow, you're going to breathe in. Keep your arms straight. Draw your chin towards the chest. And then breathe out. Gentle exhale. Draw your shoulders back. Lift the head and neck. So a little arch in the back. Good. Sink in with your breathing. Breathing in. Chin to the chest. Gently round the spine. And breathing out. Softly arch. Let's go about 3 more times. Pause the top and the bottom of each breath. Twice more. Wonderful. Last one. When you're ready, push the legs. Go ahead and come on up to standing. And then go ahead and walk the feet about hip width apart. And we're just going to gently circle through the hips. Good. Nice and smooth. Next, we're going to open up through our hip flexors and a little bit through the upper body. If your balance is a little bit off, you can have a chair nearby or stand near a wall or couch. Go ahead and we're going to mirror each other. Take your left leg, big step forward, but I want the feet to stay hip width apart. Good. From here, you can either hold on to the side, or we're going to take your arms, cross them over the shoulders, push that back hip forward, and now rotate your body towards your front leg. Drawing the shoulder down out of the ear, turning the head and neck, and try to squeeze the glute on that trail leg. When you're ready, gently unwind your body, rest those arms down, keep your feet where they are. We do it one more time. Breathing in, either on the shoulders or if you're comfortable to raise them up to overhead, reaching high. And then once again, a gentle pivot, turning the body, turning the head and neck. I'm going to show you from the side. Unwind and rest it down. Fantastic. All right, same thing, second side. So switch the feet. Now you're going to keep your right foot forward. Step the left foot back. Going to get that little shift of the hips, arms over the shoulders, and gently turn towards your right or your front leg. Good. Trying to squeeze the tush on that left hip. Drawing the shoulders out of the ears. Go ahead and unwind. Rest at those arms for a second. Hips back. Hips forward. This time either back to your shoulders, or if you can raise the arms overhead without arching the spine. Hips forward, and now once again, a gentle rotation towards the front leg. And go ahead and rest. Unwind, bring those arms down. Go ahead and use the back of the chair. A countertop also works well. We're going to open up the mid-back next. I'm going to walk the feet back, draw that stomach in, and then with a little bend in the knees, we're going to lower the head between the arms, invite the heart towards the floor. Take about 3 to 5 breaths here, coming out of the stretch as you breathe in, lowering your heart a little bit closer as you breathe out. So nice straight arms. Good, Christina. Breathing in, breathing out. It froze up on us, Laura. Hopefully you can still see us. One more time. And rest. Good job. Coming up to standing, we're going to look to stretch the calves next. So take your left foot, long step back, and then look to lower that heel towards the ground. So if you can, kind of push into the countertop, lowering that back heel down, get a nice stretch for the calf. Very good. Pushing through the upper body. When you're ready, switching sides, step that foot forward, step the other foot back. Strategically stepping over the dog and lowering that heel down. Right, pushing through the arms. And when you're ready, stepping that back foot forward. Fantastic. Alrighty, if you do have the broomstick PVC, we're going to go ahead and pick it off now. Standing with those feet about hip width apart. We're going to start, I'm going to show you from the side. We're just going to bring it out in front of the body, bringing it up to overhead or as close as you can without arching that spine, and then bringing it back down. Straight arms, squeeze the tush, draw the ribs down, bringing it up, then bringing it down. Good, one more time, chin in, stomach in. As you bring it up this time, see if you can keep it there. And now we're going to side bend. Long spine, bending to the side. Back to center, and then to the second side. Very good. 3 times total each direction. Watch that head doesn't push out and forward, drawing that chin in. Switching sides as you feel. Just going to put you back on mute. Perfect. Good. And balance it out. Wonderful. I'm going to bring it down and set that weight down. Nice. All right. Join me in the chair. Sitting right on the edge of the chair. If you do prefer to stay standing, you can, but I want to stretch your upper body without over stretching that lower back. So sitting up nice and tall, right up on those sit bones, draw the chin in. Let's start with your left hand. Reach it up as high as you can with that chin drawn in, bending the elbow, and then reach around. Get a nice stretch for the back of the arm. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Yep. And Laura's already moving into it. You can also add that side bend here from the seated stretch. Good. One more time, chin tucked in. And rest. Release the arms down. Take note of which side you were stretching, then in between sides. Let's give a little head and neck circle. Gently lowering the chin down to the chest. Tilting the head back. Just kind of find your range. Never forcing. We'll make about 3 to 5 circles in one direction. And then when you're ready, we'll go ahead and start to gently circle the other way. Just giving some relief to that neck area. Good. Maybe one more. And back to the other arm. All right, and then we'll go tricep stretch on the other side, ribs down, reaching your right arm up, chin in, bending through that elbow, grab that elbow, and drawing it back. Good. Make sure the feet are anchored nice and solid. If you can hold the stretch, you want to add that side bend. Nice and smooth. Solid. Final time. And shake it out. Solid. All right, if you got a water glass nearby or a water bottle, let's grab a drink. And then we're going to get into our first series. We're going to be doing a sit and stand. I'm going to be using the chair to stand up, sit down. If you prefer to practice a squat instead, you're welcome to work on some squatting. But I'm going to show it from the chair. And then we'll move into a full duck squat a little bit later, give some options to switch it up. All right, so I want you to sit up nice and tall. We're going to start from seated. Place the feet about hip width apart. Your choice. If you need to lean forward and push off the hands, you can. If you can lean forward and reach out, pulling yourself up to standing, squeeze the glutes as you stand all the way up, and then take your time. Knees push wide. Try to push the big toe into the floor, the bottom of the shoe, and slowly coming down. Squeeze the tush, pulling yourself up, and then nice and gentle as you sit back. So oftentimes compensation patterns we see is the knee drive, the chest falls, and we don't always stand all the way up. Very good. So again, forward and up. We'll go about another 10 to 15 seconds. Seeing how slow you can lower yourself back to the chair. Breathing out as you come up, breathing in as you sit back. Fantastic. Go ahead and make your way back to standing and then stay there with me. Awesome. We're going to work our balance next with our tandem stance. So the tandem stance is like our equivalent to our tightrope walk or from a stationary position. So if you want to have the chair or a wall nearby, let's start with your left foot forward. I'm going to show you from the side. I'm going to stack my feet directly in front of the other. Ribs in, shoulders stacked over the hips. And then you're going to bring your arms to the side. And we're going to hold here for about 30 seconds. Good job. I'm going to turn back forward. Shoulders down out of the ears. Squeeze those shoulders back. Practice opening through that upper body. And then think up and in through the abdomen. Excellent. 10 seconds left. Relax through the upper body. Got a little bit of a wobble for myself here today. 3, 2, 1, and step it out. Nice job. In between sides, back to our hip circles. 3 to 5 times. Good, and then circle it the other way. The hips moving, keep that low back with a little bit of movement. And then when you're ready, now it's going to be your right foot forward. Imagine you're stepping onto that balance beam, bringing your left foot directly behind or as close as you can. Draw the stomach in, standing tall. Stack the shoulders over the hips. Good job. Working, holding for 30. Very nice. Anyone who feels solid here with the eyes open, closing your eyes will give that extra challenge. Just imagine you've got these guide wires pulling ourselves up towards the ceiling. Less than 10 seconds. April, take your time. 2, 1, and take a pause. Nice job. All righty. We're gonna do a little cross crawl work. If you're comfortable to do it standing, you're welcome to go ahead and move into it standing. Round 1, I'm going to show from the chair. So when I say cross crawl, I mean we're going to reach our hand across the body to the opposite leg. So you're going to take your left hand, pick up your right leg, and bring the hand towards that opposite knee. There you go. Yep. Standing tall, you lift the leg, either leg straight or leg bent. Take about another 10 seconds here. Nice, Christina, really focused to hold strong. There you go. And 2, 1, and everybody rest. Nice job. If you are standing, go ahead and join me in the chair. We're going to do a little stretch for the low back before we go into round 2. So I'm going to sit right on the edge of the chair, draw the stomach in, hands to the thighs, chin to the chest, and just ever so gently sliding the hands towards the ankles, bowing the head down, and just get a gentle stretch into that mid back or the low back. Use your breath to try to expand the back of the ribs, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Take your time there, and then when you feel ready on the inhale, start to come back up to seated. And then as we get ready for round 2, you can either do what we did on round 1 with the sit and stand, or if you'd like to challenge yourself a little bit more, I'm going to come behind the chair and work the squat from behind the chair to get a little bit more depth into it. We'll start here in 10 seconds. So setting the feet. And you can imagine the dial of a clock. My left foot's pointing towards the 11 o'clock. The right foot's pointing towards the 1 o'clock. And then eyes up, holding on to the chair as you send the hips back. Still pushing those knees wide. And then controlling down as far as you're confident. Good work. Breathing in. If you're not holding on, reach your arms out in front of you. Fantastic. Push that big toe down. And then drive through those legs, chest up. Go ahead and do one more time. Breathing in, sitting back, breathing out, pulling tall. Awesome. All right, take a little break. Round 2 of our tightrope walk or that tandem stance. Making your way into position. It's going to be left foot forward first. So you'll set your left foot down, stack the right foot as close behind as you can. Like imagine you got that balance beam on the ground, shoulder stack over the hips, and come all the way up. Good. Squeeze the chest open, palms out. And here we go for 30. Smile through that wobble. Sometimes we get really hard on ourselves when our balance challenges us. Halfway through, lift up out of those hips, draw the upper body back, ribs down. Sometimes we go into that extended position. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. We're gonna do our figure 8s next. So instead of just our hip circles, we just imagine trying to flow through. You can either go hands on the hips, or I like to imagine we just arrived in Hawaii. We've got the hula dance. Just flow through it, kind of move the hips a little bit differently. And now see if you can kind of reverse directions, move them the other way. Good. Wonderful. All right, we're gonna get ready for that tandem stance on the right side. So when you're ready, place your right foot down, work the left foot directly behind, lift up through that midline, and getting ready to start that 30 seconds. 2, 1, here we go. Right foot forward, eyes up, chin in. Excellent. Keep lifting, but not letting those ribs flare back. Sometimes what it looks like is we'll start to lean back. So ribs down, stay stacked right over the hips, 10 seconds to go. 2, 1, and rest. Nice job. Uncross the legs. You can either sit back down to do that cross crawl pattern like we did from the chair, or if you're staying standing, we come to one leg, hand to the opposite thigh, opposite knee. The bigger challenge would be lift the knee towards the opposite elbow. So find what's best for you. You can also go hand towards the opposite thigh. Just anything to cross that midline of the body. Wonderful. Another 15 seconds here. Take your time, especially if you're coming onto one leg. That's also some additional balance work. Good. And 3, 2, 1, and take the pause. All right, let's grab a drink of water. And then we're going to repeat that stretch that we did using the back of the chair. You can also use the back of a couch, a countertop, walking the feet back, drawing that stomach in, and then once again, lowering the heart towards the floor. Spend about 5 breaths into this stretch. Coming out as you breathe in, big breath into the back of the body, and a gentle exhale, lowering that heart back towards the ground. Draw that chin in, make sure you don't lose your head forward. Breathing in and breathing out. Good job. 2 to 3 more breaths. On your next inhale, coming back up. All right. We're going to stretch our quads before we go into the last round. This is one of the more challenging stretches that we do. So if you can't quite do it, don't worry about it. Just do the best you can. But you're looking to grab the one foot and pulling that heel towards the glute. Excellent. Eyes up. Another 10 seconds here. Very good. And rest. Reposition yourself. Same thing, second side. Reaching for that opposite foot. We're going to go one more time through the series, getting a little bit more of the squatting in, sit, stand. If this is your first time joining us or your first time coming back in a while, I'm going to invite you to march for the last round and maybe give a break from the squatting. If you've been with us the last week and a half that we've gotten started and feel like you could do a third round of squats, then go ahead and join us. Go ahead and release that foot. Any variation, so you can do the sit and stand from the chair. You can use hold on, or I'm going to show without assistance on this last round. So set those feet about hip width apart, eyes up, and when you're ready, breathing in, controlling your hips back and down. Excellent. Breathing out, pulling yourself up. Looking for about 3 to 5 reps here. Sitting back, knees pushing wide, strong through the belly. Awesome. When you're ready, back, back, back. Squeeze the tush, stand all the way up to the top. Beautiful. Maybe one more time. Back, eyes up, chest tall. And rest. Fantastic. All righty, getting ready for our final balance exercise. So you can continue to do that tightrope. If you want to progress the movement, you can come all the way onto one leg and do a single leg balance. So either left foot in front or standing on your left leg. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Anytime you need to set the foot down, those of you doing the single leg stance, go ahead and set it down. If you want to add a little challenge, you can roll through the ankle on your right foot. Roll the ankle the other way. We have 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. All right, in between legs, let's open up the inner thighs just a bit. Feet about hip width apart. I'm going to put my hands on the thighs, draw the stomach in, coming down to like a forward bow position. And now I'm going to push the knee out as I rotate and look over the opposite shoulder. So breathing in, looking forward, breathing out. I turn my body, look the other way, get a little mini stretch into that inner thigh by pushing the hand into that knee. About 2 to 3 times each direction. Nice, Laura. Turning through the head and neck. Even yourself out side to side. And making your way back up to standing. Ooh, if you need to loosen up that low back a little bit, you can gently twist. Walking the feet in, and we're getting ready for your balance, either with your right foot forward or standing on the right leg. All right, so place it down, lift everything up and in, and 2, 1, here we go. Very good, hips nice and level. Sometimes they'll tend to kick out. If you want to add the ankle circles. Very good, rotate the other way. 10 seconds left. Feel the burn in that outer hip, keep working. Smile as you balance. And everybody rest. Fantastic. Shake it out. Woo! All right, a little bit more of that cross crawl to finish out this series. And then we'll have one more circuit to go. So we're going to go march and punch for this last one. You're welcome to do it from seated as well. We're going to lift the knee, lift the leg, and then punch across the body with the arms. Go ahead, try to time that exhale with the punch. Solid, good. Smile as you move now, 15 seconds left. Water break is coming. This is all balance work as well, really lifting up, pushing down through that big toe. And 2, 1, and take the rest. Nice job, everyone. Let's grab a drink. All right. We did some squatting. The opposite lower body movement is, we call it a hinge. So we're gonna purposely practice bowing forward. So let's first warm up some good mornings. I invite you to set the feet just underneath the hips. Check in with your toes. I want them to be pointing directly away from you. And then check in with your belly. If your hips tend to drop back, rock the hips underneath you, draw the ribs down and in the front. And now we're going to go arms over the shoulders, or if you want to open the shoulders more, you can go hands behind the head. Little baby bend in the knees. And now I want you to think about pushing your hips back As you bow your chest down, drawing that stomach in, long spine, and then either far enough to get a little stretch in the back of the thighs or right about to 90 degrees. So Laura, make your way back up, plenty far, and push the feet and stand. Excellent. Between 3 and 5, breathing in, pushing the hips back, bowing the head down, breathing out, squeeze the tush. Good. Christina, if you turn sideways to this camera, there we go. Yep, so that long spine position. Fantastic. 1 or 2 more. Good, Laura, that's plenty far. Yep, and all the way up. Very good. What we're gonna pair up with that forward bow is now we're gonna make a fist. If on later rounds, once we get moving, if you wanna hold a light weight, you can, or we can simply use it as a shoulder opener and stretch. We're gonna alternate arms. So go ahead and move with me here, reaching one arm up, reach. And then when I bring the other hand down, I'm just coming right below my chin. So I think about bringing my thumb to my collarbone and then press from there. And I'm going to hold some light weights after we get through this warm-up round. Very good. Beautiful. And rest. Last exercise that we're going to do is we're going to practice a variation of a lunge. We call it our giant step. You can balance on the chair if you'd like, or reach the arms up. I'm going to step 1 foot back, reach the arms, and then draw myself forward. We'll do that one leg first, and I'll step back and then step forward. Big step back, front shin is vertical. So we'll go about 5 times on the one leg, and then we'll switch. Yep. Long stride, eyes up. Good. Then we'll do the same thing on the second side. Back and up. 5 times on that second leg. Really key to take note of your front foot. So I'm kind of gripping that big toe down, activating the arch of the foot, and then think about propelling yourself forward out of that heel. Maybe one more time. Back. Good. And up. Awesome. All right, move. Can you move a little bit, buddy? Hands in the way. Go on, bud. Thank you. Dead dog in the middle. All right, friends. So as we get ready, we warmed up the good morning. If that's the movement you feel most comfortable with, you can stay with that. If you're up to doing a little bit of weight training, you can either hold a light weight underneath your chin, or I'm going to show it as a deadlift position, where I'm going to hold it right between the legs. And then it's a similar motion from there, setting the hips back, that long spine, and then standing tall. You can either take your weight all the way to the ground, or you can just go as far as you're comfortable. That mid-shin position, right about the level of the thighs. All right, so if you haven't started yet, when you're ready, we're going to practice about 30 seconds. Hinging forward, squeeze the tush, standing up. So controlling down and all the way up. Nice. Pull those shoulders back. No rounding through the spine, just bending at the hips, engaging through the midline as you move. So maybe one more time. Breathing in, hips back, breathing out, and rest. Nice. Overhead reach or overhead press. You can stay standing, or if you prefer, you can also sit on down for this one. So I'm just going to pick up some light weights. Yep. And when you're ready, pushing high. Nice. Overhead reach, that's one of those movements that sometimes we just don't do it in everyday life. And then our shoulders, we get that frozen shoulder position. We lose the ability to reach up to overhead. So if you can't quite reach as high as I can, I recommend not using weights. You have to reach out in front of your face a little bit more. That's okay. Probably look a little bit like this, but just kind of meet your body where it is. All right, everybody, 2, 1, and rest. If you are seated, come on up to standing. Now we're going to get ready for those reverse giant steps. Toes pointing forward. We're going to go your left leg first. So standing tall, when you're ready, you're going to reach the arms out, step your left leg back, and then propel yourself up and forward through the right side. Breathing in as you step back, Breathing out, stepping forward. Good job. Depending upon your comfort, you can start to bend down a little bit lower if you'd like, but don't rush the motion. Good. One or two more on this side. And 2, 1, and switching sides. Good. Laura, if you want, you could go alternating legs if you missed the giant steps. Christina, when you're ready, now same thing on the opposite leg, stepping back and pulling up. Good job. Breathing in. Eyes stay up and forward. Chest as tall as you can. Arms reach out, pulling through. Nice. 10 more seconds. Breathing in, breathing out, and 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. Meet me back in the chair. We're going to do a little stretch break, and then we'll take it ourselves through it one more time. All right, mid-back rotations. So sitting tall, go ahead and bring your left hand behind the head. You can rest your right hand on the inside of your right knee. Breathing in, elbow comes forward towards that opposite thigh, sitting tall, and a gentle breath out as you pivot. Between 3 and 5 times, breathing in, sitting tall, and gentle, getting that full rotation. Pausing in that open position, really draw that elbow back, get a good opening through the chest. 1 to 2 more. Excellent. When you're ready, same thing, opposite side. Left hand rests on the inner left knee, right hand behind the head. Close her down and sitting tall. Try to follow your elbow with your gaze. So your eyes follow the elbow. That's going to give the rotation through the head and neck. Especially with all the updated cars, we have all those cameras in the cars now. Sometimes we don't even notice that we can't look over our shoulder to check our blind spots. Hopefully you're still checking and not relying on the car. One more time here. And shake it out. All right, everybody, back up to standing. We're going to do one final rotation through. You can either stick with your good mornings, drawing the stomach in, bowing up and down, or we can hold the weight. You can hold either one weight between the legs. If you're working with 2 smaller weights, you can hold them right outside the thighs with the feet a little bit closer. So I'll show that option this time. Shoulders back, stomach drawn in. When you're ready, keeping the hands close to those legs so you don't let gravity kind of swing the weights away. Instead, engage through your lats. Those are the big muscles of your arms that attach your arms to that torso. Good job. Controlling down. And then make sure you stand all the way up. So often we see people get up out of the chair and they don't stand all the way up. That's one of the #1 things we're practicing here is opening through those hips. Wonderful. 10 seconds left. Good control. Stomach drawn in. And then squeeze the glutes. Final time. Go ahead and set the weights down on this last one. And shake it out. Nice. All right, if you want to hang on to a different pair of weights or the same ones, now we're going to go back to that overhead reach or overhead press. So you can either make a fist or hold some light weights. Feel free to take a seat if you'd like. Otherwise, just a little bend of the knees, and then when you're ready, one arm up and then the other. Excellent. Thumb to the collarbone as you bring the hand down, and then the opposite arm goes up. Good. Those of you that are doing this from standing, try to squeeze the tush, fire the thighs. Think about pulling the thighs up and away from the knees. Strong. Let's get 1 to 2 more on each side. Lift and press. Controlling down. Final time each arm. and rest. Beautiful. Clear your floor space. Our final exercise before our cool down stretch are the giant steps. Practicing that backward step. We're going to go 30 seconds on each side. Eyes up and forward. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Stepping back, big step back, and then propel up and forward. Breathing in. Good. Breathing out. Pull through. Try to stay on the same side. We're halfway on this leg, and then we'll go to the second side. We'll have a little stretch break in between legs. Back, pulling up. Solid. Last one. Good, Laura. Stand tall and rest. Good job. Take note of which leg was stepping back. In between sides, we're going to do our side stretch flow. One hand reaches under towards the opposite thigh, while the other hand comes up and over the head. If you feel stable enough to do so, turn the head and neck. Try to peer up to the hand reaching overhead with that chin drawn in. Good. Lean away from the side, reaching up and over. Beautiful. All right, let's finish out the reverse giant steps. I'm stepping back with my right leg. I'm going to switch it up to the left. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Back, pulling it forward. Strong and stable through that front foot. You want to keep it planted into the floor. Think about really feeling that front heel drive down. Good job. Halfway. Good. Great work. Eyes looking up and forward. Hips as level as you can. 1 or 2 more. And rest. Fantastic. Shake it out and meet me in the chair. All righty. Nice work. The water glass is convenient. And then we're going to cool down with a stretch first for the low back and then for the hips. Sitting up nice and tall, right on the edge of the chair, feet are flat on the ground. Feel free to mirror me. Take your left hand over towards the right knee. If you can shimmy over towards your left side, that's great. Draw the belly in, bow the head down, and just ever so gently reaching down to the outside of your right leg, just until you get a gentle stretch on the outer part of the low back. And then breathe there, chin towards the chest. If it gets too intense, come back out. Otherwise, next breath, coming back up to seated. If you have space on your chair, shimmy yourself to the opposite side. Good. Left hand holds on, right hand comes the left knee. Draw the stomach in, bow the head down, and ever so gently. Good job. Chin in. Try to send your air to where you feel that tension. On that next inhale, coming back up. Very good. And then our last stretch here is going to be our figure 4. So sitting up, pick the right leg up. See if you can grab onto that ankle, cross it over the opposite thigh. And as you sit tall, just slowly let this knee lower down. It might stay up high wherever you get a nice gentle stretch. And then take the foot that's up on the thigh and try to draw the toes back towards that knee. Good. Use this to open the upper body as well, lifting through the chest. Give a little bit of overpressure. See if your body's willing to go a little bit deeper without it being painful. I am stiff here today. Final 10 seconds. And gradually coming out of that stretch. And we're going to do the same thing on the second side. Set that foot down. Lift the other one up. Kind of grab onto that shin. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders back. And then remember, we engage through the foot as well. So take the foot, draw it back towards that knee. And just be gentle here. And if you can get a little bit of movement through the head and neck here as you're stretching, you can bring the chin down towards the chest. Feel the back of the neck lengthen. And then looking ahead, you can gradually tilt the head back. Lengthen the front of the neck. One more time, chin in, looking down. And gently lift, softly tilt back. Very good. And then when you're ready, unwind out of that figure four. We're gonna do our final breaths together. Bring your hands together in front of the heart. As you're breathing in, we're gonna raise the arms up best you can, lifting up out of that spine. And exhale, circle around. Beautiful. Think about some good emotions here. It's breathe in some love. Think about something that brings you some joy, brings a smile to your face. Breathing out, release. Fantastic. Final time, friends. Big breath in through the nose, lift out of the spine, stretch tall. And then send that love out to the world, to your friends. Fantastic. All right. Thanks so much for moving with me today. Those of you that are here live, feel free to stick around and we'll talk more soon.